All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we are going to be doing another one of the quieter streams, unfortunately. But yeah, let's get some work and research done. Between yesterday and today, actually, I've made a bit of progress, and I'm kind of happy about that because I finally managed to start the proper GitHub workflow that I've been trying to set up, which is basically like, okay, if I have a project that I wanna uh not back up, but a project that I wanna have a GitHub repo for, I wanna have two remotes for it. I wanna have a local remote, which is gonna serve as the local central repo, which I'm self-hosting, quote unquote, and the other remote is going to be a repo on GitHub. So basically, the same working copy that I have is going to be pushing to both remotes at once. I'll have one working copy locally on my machine, and on that same machine, I'll also have the bare repo, which is the local central repo for that working copy. And then on GitHub, I'll have another central repo, which is the GitHub version of that working copy. So the first thing that I set up was the Rose Pine themes moon variant for BTOP. I'd worked on, I think I can show it here. I think it might. Oh, actually, what I could do is, um, hold on. Here, I could create a new thing. If I open up BTOP, it should be big enough here. This is BTOP right now. Actually, okay, let it like give it a little bit so it fills up. Oh, you know what I could do? I could make it faster so it fills up quicker. Though filling it up quicker, I don't know how much good it's gonna do. But yeah, this is what my BTOP looks like right now. You're seeing a much more zoomed out version of it. What I usually use is a more zoomed in version. But yeah, this is BTOP with the Rose Pine moon theme. And what I did was mainly change a couple of the colors to give these, what I learned later are called meters, to give these meters gradients because they didn't have gradients. They had solid color in the original theme that was designed by the Rose Pine community. The meters didn't really have gradients, and I kind of wanted gradients. The meters, the graph for the CPU, I believe it did have gradients by default. I don't remember having to change that myself. But the okay, but the what do you call it? The meters here didn't have the. Hold on, I need to show this graph. Yeah, that's what the graph looks like, more or less. Um, yeah, so the meters didn't have gradients by default, and I wanted gradients in there for the meters. I think the CPU graph did have gradient set up. I don't remember if I had to do that myself. There were like one or two other things that I changed. I don't remember exactly what they were. But yeah, there were a couple of like minor things that I changed. So basically, I had my own version of Rose Pine Rose Pine Moon, and I wanted to upload that copy to GitHub. I didn't change the other two variants because Rose Pine comes in three different variants. One is, I think one is called Dawn. The light version of it is called Dawn, and then there's Moon, which is this, and then I think there's a darker version as well. I don't remember if that's called Dusk, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mainly only changed the Moon variant, and so that's all I made the repo for. I created the repo for specifically hosting the Moon variant. And something I'm really happy about is how smooth the workflow was. All I had to do was create the working copy, and then of course create the central repo locally, and also create the central repo on GitHub, and then add both of those repos links as remotes to my working copy. And further from that point, I was able to just uh, push branches to them. So now it's really simple. Now I can set up all the various repos that I wanted to set up and constantly keep working. I've also, give me a second, because I was doing a bit of work with this. This is the bare repo. Here we have Git UI. Yeah, here you can see the remotes that I've set up. GH is GitHub. Origin is the local one. Maybe I should pick a different name instead of Origin. Though Origin doesn't sound that bad, because like I can just have it in my mind that Origin in my case is local, because um, every single repo that I'm working on, I'm going to have a local copy of it, but not every single repo that I'm working on is necessarily always going to be on GitHub. I want to make it so they would be on GitHub as well. It's just if I don't want it to be public, it'll be private, right? I haven't really done that a whole lot. Most of the time, the private repos that I've set up have mainly just been scratch repos, like repos that I'm building just for testing purpose, not for anything serious. But I mean, yeah, GitHub does allow having private repos. So if there is ever a project that I would like to keep private, at least initially, or maybe keep private forever. Like maybe it's a project that is not necessarily meant for, the public. It's mainly meant for my use. Um, I can I can host that as well. And the workflow would be the same, because the GitHub authentication that I did, it involves being able to manage both public and private repos. So I'm good on that front. I can just add the link to the repo as a remote, and then push. Sorry, zoned out. Okay, so back to this. So as you can see here, I've made 3 commits. There were a few changes that I had to make. Um, but yeah, now this is done, and I decided to store the I decided to store um, the central repos in um, their own dedicated folder here. Hold on, I need to be careful moving around in this. Yeah. I need to remember to delete this later on, but yeah, this is the central repo, and just like this, there's going to be a bunch of other central repos. The next central repo that I want to make is for dot files, but for that, I also want to make an extraction utility, which is going to pull data from from the various sources. So anytime I want to make a backup, I'll I'll start pulling the information from, you know, the various sources that are listed, and I want that to be a Rust application. That's important. I want that to be a Rust application, and I'll even upload the application as, you know, along with the along with the repo, because, you know, why not? And then all I would have to do if I ever need to, you know, re recreate the repo is the clone what's already hosted, and then the application would be cloned along with it. In fact, what I could do is I could um how should I go about this? Because I want to host the Rust application along with the, so I didn't mention this, the dot files repo that I'm planning on making. It's supposed to uh it's supposed to hold all of my config files, the various dot files. um that's basically it. That's the only, so there's various things like the wes term config, then there's the I'm not using the Kitty terminal anymore, but yeah, the Kitty. Actually, I don't think I need to add the Kitty terminal config anymore because I've been using Western for the past good like 2 months, I think. I haven't touched the Kitty terminal since then. The next thing is my own bash rc file. That's very important for me. Um, Tmux, I'm still very heavily using Tmux, so having my Tmux config saved is incredibly important for me. And the great thing is that like these settings, they kind of apply across the various machines that I have. So in a way, it's helping me, but I also want to share the thing online in case it helps anyone else as well. Because, you know, my own Western setup, maybe it might seem appealing to somebody else. I tried to make my Western setup similar to, because that was my only reference. I made it similar to the Kitty setup that I had before. Kind of, kind of similar to that. In fact, I think mainly in terms of making it similar, it was the this bottom bar that I have. I don't think you guys can see it because, well, you can see the bar in the I forgot what the, I think it's called the tab bar in the bottom. What we are using is, I believe the plugin is called Tab Line, and it's taken inspiration from Tab Line on NeoVim. What was it called? Was it called Tab Line or Status Line or? Hold on. I need to open up my wait. NVim. Where's Western? Western is not here. Wait. Config Western Western.lua. This is the Western Lua file. What is the name of that? Oh yeah, it's Tabline. So Tabline basically provides you with a bar at the bottom where you can see a bunch of tabs, and on the left side, so the center portion is reserved to show you the various tabs. The bottom left, or the left side of that tab, of that line, of that bar, is reserved to show you. You can actually customize this. Why am I even saying that it's reserved for this, reserved for that? You can customize it. That's what I've done here. And it actually took me a little bit to understand what I was doing wrong in this case. I I think it was after chatting with GitHub Copilot, after getting it to analyze this and then analyze the repo for this plugin, the Tabline plugin. And then looking at the code that it showed, then I realized that I was doing something wrong in the initialization somewhere here. I believe it was in sections. I think so. I think if I remember right, the issue that I was having was maybe that I was passing sections into options. So this sections table, I was probably creating it within, because within Lua, you use tables a lot for various different purposes. Tables are used for like all sorts of different things, including passing entire like dictionaries of data. um, and that's what was going on here. But yeah, I've customized mine to show A and B show mode, and oh, I believe A, B, and C are for the um, the leftmost three sections that you would be seeing. I can probably do the last time I tried to not show the browser, it created a huge problem. So I'm gonna just do this. Now you can now you can see it. So if you look in the bottom left of the screen, you can see the mode and I believe the workspace based on what it's showing here. Yeah. So A and B, and there's supposed to be a C as well. So there can be three sections there. And then in the center, there'll be all the tabs. And then on the right side, you can have three more sections, which I do have three more sections. I think I've disabled Z, but I'm using, oh, I've disabled both X and Z. And I'm not even using Y for that matter. Oh, no, I am using Y. Y is set to um, the default value, which I believe is, this says local. So that is the domain, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the domain. So it could be it could be the local domain or SSH domain. I don't know what's going to show up um, if it's a Unix based, I forgot what it's called. Um, you have local domain. Oh, maybe it's just called Unix domain. Basically, those are used to create. Those are used for multiplexing support. So basically, creating tabs that or sessions that won't die if you close the tab. So you can detach from the tab, and they'll still be alive in whatever server is maintaining them. I haven't started using that feature yet because I'm still in the process of learning how um, the internals of Western work. And I'll get there. I'll get there pretty soon. Now we are slowly starting to make progress, especially since I'm doing the GitHub thing now. I'm excited about that. But yeah, this is I would also like to have this file um, on GitHub because there are certain very specific shortcuts that I've set up here. Like for example, I set up the leader key initially to be Control B, but then I had to change it to I believe Control A. Hold on, let me see where I set up leader. Leader is Control A. Yeah, but yeah, this is also one of the files that I would want to back up. So what I'm thinking is I also want to start learning TOML so I can set up a TOML file that can be read for paths maybe, and then those paths can be parsed to create the. Though I mean, I'll have to see how I want to go about doing that because I feel like I would need to have them as separate directories, if that makes sense. Oh, I would also want to back up NeoVim, my NeoVim configuration, like the entire thing, just specifically all of the Lua, all of the plugin related stuff. because I have done certain changes that are specific to my setup. So I would definitely want to back up all of that as well. So I feel like I'm gonna need to make it like a yeah. Let me let me take some time to learn TOML. Should we do TOML today? Yeah, I feel like we could do TOML today. Hold on. Hey, so I recently started using no. Hey, so I do Rust coding. I know that TOML is used a lot in the Rust ecosystem, but I feel like I don't fully understand the language. And while I feel like I, no, and while I definitely won't always need to write TOML by hand, I feel like knowing how to write it would definitely benefit me, especially if I hmm, would definitely benefit me. Um, no, okay. Knowing how to write it would also help me read and understand it. So I would like for you to teach me Tamil, if it's not a very vast and complex language. I don't think it is. I'm just trying to get Gemini to tell me if it actually is. First off, you're in luck. Tamil, which is Tom's obvious minimal language, is incredibly simple. It was literally designed to be easily parsed into a hash table, making it a breeze to learn. Since you're already writing Rust, you've definitely seen it in your cargo.toml. So we're going to need to use serde for this. Um, I need to go into um, okay, it's not here. Did I ever create a serde thing? I created a serde thing. Okay. What's in TOML here? Oh, good. I added TOML. So I did create this. Do I have code for this? Or I already have code for this. All right. Great. So what I could do is I could write TOML code and deserialize it to, I don't remember all the specifics surrounding serde. What I do remember is that serde provides you with a middle layer in between. Let me just try to recall what serde does. So serde can be used to create serializable and deserializable crates, or create functionality for serializing and deserializing various different languages. Um, what serde itself does is give you the ability, it gives you the various types that your data would be converted to. So whatever language you have, let's say it's JSON, that would first be converted to, sorry, no, whatever data you have, let's say you have a struct and you want it to be converted to JSON. What serde does is it provides you with a middle ground. It provides you with like an intermediate layer. So your data would be converted to serde data. I forgot exactly what that's called, but it'll be converted to serde data objects. And from that, it gets converted to JSON. So there's usually always a middle layer in between. And this is how both serialization and deserialization, both serialization and deserialization takes place. So you are able to write both a serializer and a deserializer. When it comes to a serializer, you would be writing functionality to convert the serde object data into your whatever your language is, let's say JSON. When it comes to writing a deserializer, you would be writing code to convert. Actually, yeah, when it comes to deserialization, oh, wait. My bad, my bad. No, I got this. I missed actually. I didn't get it wrong. I missed something. So in serialization, you would have to write the logic to convert whatever your data is into the CRD data object thing. You would then also need to write code to convert the CRD data thing into actually I think CRD provides you with the functionality for the first thing that I was talking about. So that's why you don't need to do it. Yeah, I think CRD provides you with the functionality for that. And that is how you are able to make your data um that is how you're able to plug the same kind of data into or sorry, convert the same kind of data into multiple different languages because that data that you have, it's going to be converted to a CRD object. So then that CRD object, which would contain a lot more data inside it, right? Like in case you had substructs and you had multiple fields and all of that stuff, all of that, all of that data can then be converted into either JSON or TOML or whatever other language you might have, YAML, XAML, maybe XML or whatever, right? It can be converted to any of these different languages. So you would need to write the the serialization logic for you might also need to write a bit of logic to convert the data that you have into a CRD object, right? And then you would need to write the I don't remember that first if that first part is necessary for you or not. I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I think so. But you do have these two parts. Let me confirm with Gemini and see if I'm remembering right. Hey, I do Rust coding. I'm trying to remember how serde works as a developer. No, serde works when you're writing uh, serializers and serializers. Yeah, and deserializers. Sorry, zoned out. Okay, is it that you write code to convert your um, data into um, a, into CRD um, intermediate data, and then also write code to convert that intermediate data into whatever the language is, whatever the language example JSON is. Uh, you've actually hit the nail on the exact genius of how CRD works, but with one massive twist that saves you from a lifetime of writing boilerplate. You only write half of that equation. Your intuition about the intermediate data layer is 100% correct. Serde uses a data model that sits in the middle. However, you don't write the code to bridge both sides. Instead, serde acts as a matchmaker between two completely independent traits, serialize and deserialize for your Rust types, and serializer/deserializer for your data formats like JSON. Here's how the architecture actually breaks down. Instead of writing M by N translators for M data structures and N file formats, serde uses a two-part ecosystem connected by the serde data model. The data structure side, this is what you care about most. This is what you care about most of the time as a Rust developer. You use the derive, serialize, and deserialize on your structs or enums. Oh, serde knows how to convert that data into the serde data model. That's what I was missing. That's the piece of info that I was not able to remember. Yeah, COD is able to. Okay, let me continue reading this to see if I'm remembering right. The generated code tells COD how to dismantle your Rust struct into basic types like strings, integers, sequences, and maps that fit into the COD data model. It has absolutely zero knowledge of JSON, YAML, or BSON. I didn't know that's a thing. Okay. Then the format side. Uh, This is what crate authors like COD JSON and COD YAML write. The job, this code takes those basic types from the COD data model and actually formats it into bytes, strings, or files. Okay, all right. So now I remember it. You would have to add the macros on top of your types that you want to serialize to the CRD data model. And then what you're actually writing is just the serializer. So I think what I was remembering at first was correct. All you are writing is the serializer code and the deserializer code, but what you're serializing from is the CRD data model, and what you're deserializing to is the CRD data model. That's how CRD actually um, allows you to essentially work like a plug and play kind of thing, if that makes sense. Like you can have multiple different languages that can just be plugged into this system that allow you to convert data from one form to. I'm not able to put into words what I'm saying. It's a plug and play system, or it's a modular, it's a pluggable system where you are able to basically just remove, let's say if you don't want JSON support anymore, or if you want both JSON and TOML support, you can have both of these things, and then both of them would be converting data, but they would be converting data from the CRD data model. Not They wouldn't be touching the original struct. That's how CRD works. Okay, now that I remember that, let's go back to learning about TOML. Okay, since you're already writing Rust, by the way, we are here. We also have Yahtzee open here. I don't think I need this anymore. No, I'll keep it open though. What's going on here? This is test repo. Huh, we have Yahtzee open here. Okay. Um, dude, I love Zoxide, dude. I cannot say that enough. Holy shit. Okay, open that up. Uh, I don't think I need to have cargo terminal open. Oh, let's give it a little bit because it's doing its loading thing. So we have both serde and wait, am I able to resolve this? This was code action, wasn't it? Oh God, dude, that is amazing. I need to look into this, by the way. No, no, no. I need to look into this. I need to take a screenshot of this right now. How would I do that? Okay, I can do it like this. Okay. Yank. I'm gonna open up a new conversation while that whole loading thing is happening. Hey, I'm doing Rust coding in nvim lazyvim. Um, in my cargo file, um, this is what it looks like. I hope you're able to see the nerd font symbols. Um, but basically, it's telling me that there is an update available for so and so crate. I am then able to do leader CA to pull up code actions and select the option to update the crate. This is wild to me because I've mainly only used um, code actions in code. How exactly is this working? Okay, that is the magic of the language server protocol and some clever NeoVim plugin ecosystem integration. It feels wild because we usually associate code actions with refactoring variables or fixing compiler errors. But to your editor, which is no, what? But to your editor, a cargo.toml file is just another source file with its own specialized language server. Here is exactly how that wizardry is happening. Here's exactly how that wizardry is happening under the hood of your lazy Vim setup. The magic behind the scenes. Taplow. Okay, in a default lazy Vim setup with the Rust extra enabled, NeoVim attaches a language server called Taplow to any .toml files you open. I kind of want to see if that's the case. Okay, so we have the Rust analyzer running. We have the... Wait, is there anything else? So Vim LSP Rust analyzer, Vim LSP C#. Oh, Taplow. Taplow is here. That's interesting, dude. Holy shit. Also, I'm glad that I know about this. I'm glad that I know to go and look at. Um, hold on. The LSP is not active here. It's active here though. So, Oh, also there was a different tab that opened up. How do I what was it, window? No. I don't remember what tab related stuff was. Oh, yeah, wait. What what were the tab related shortcuts, dude? I can't remember any of it. Space tab that. Um Previous tab is that. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's close that. Um why do I have these two tabs? I guess I can close this tab then, right? Yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, I'm glad that I know about this trick. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I also don't use C sharp anymore, so I don't really need this. This is mainly coming in because I installed that C sharp LS, and this was back when I was doing C sharp. Though that's not to say that I'll never go back to C sharp. It's just that now that I've gotten into Rust and I've seen all the stuff that is possible with Rust, I don't really feel the need to go back to C sharp, if that makes sense. Holy shit, this is my God. Oh, to be fair, there's a bunch of other LSPs as well, or LSP related stuff as well. I think there might be something for TOML as well, right? Though I think Taplo is for TOML. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the. Hold on. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. All right. Now I get it. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Uh, okay. Are we able to see info? Okay, diagnostics. We can see diagnostics for this as well. That's crazy to me that we're able to see diagnostics in this. Diagnostics specifically for this thing. Okay, what would be the difference between update crate and upgrade crate? Um, all right, we can. Wait, I didn't know this was a thing. I can look at LSP info here. I actually forgot that this was a thing. That's crazy. I forgot this was a thing. I completely forgot this list was a thing. I could see the list of LSPs here. I don't often dive into LSP stuff. The only time I jump into LSP stuff is when I actually have a problem and I have to fix the problem, and then, I fix it and go back to what I was doing. But yeah, okay. Let's come back here. So NeoVim is no, sorry, Gemini is telling me in a default lazy Vim setup with the Rust extra enabled, NeoVim attaches a language server called Taplo to any TOML files you open. Taplo is a massive upgrade over a basic syntax highlighter. It's a full-blown TOML language server that specifically understands the cargo ecosystem. The icons, those nerd font symbols, and version numbers you see trailing your lines are injected via diagnostics and virtual text. Yes, that's true. That's true. Tableau actively queries the crates.io registry in the background, compares your local file to the latest available versions, and prints the data right next to your code. All right. How code actions work here. The LSP, you know what? I don't think I need to, I don't think I need to jump. I don't think I need to dive too deep into this, at least not right now. I'll leave the conversation open and then continue reading it off stream. But for now, I think I want to learn. Um, I want to continue learning TOML. So here's what Gemini is saying. Okay, learning how to write it by hand will absolutely make reading complex dependencies and configuration files sound second nature. Reading configuration files second nature. Let's break down the core concepts you'll need. One is basics, key value pairs. At its core, TOML is just a list of key value pairs. So let's create a new file here. Let's say some TOML or one.toml. Where is this created? Um, okay, what if I save it? Oh, there, now it's saved. I was concerned for a second. I was like, where did the file get created? But no, it just created the buffer and gave it that name. And once I hit save, then it actually saved it. Okay, so now here, right, at its core, TOML is just a list of key value pairs. Whitespace doesn't matter much, unlike YAML. Keys are on the left, values are on the right, and comments start with um, the pound symbol, a hash, I think it's called, the hashtag symbol, basically. So this is a comment. And then we can say name equals, oh, what happens if I do this? It it's not complaining. Yeah, it's not complaining. Hold up. I'm using NeoVim, LazyVim for Rust coding. But right now I have uh, a Scratch TOML file open where I'm typing in stuff. Is there a way for me to see which um, language servers are currently um, are currently responsible for various things in this file? Yes, absolutely. Since you're using LazyVim, you have a couple of excellent built-in tools to see which language server protocol clients are active. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, okay, which language server? But no, it's not language server. The server is running in the background. I'm supposed to be looking for the language server protocol client. So the LSP client is what I'm looking for because the client is what's running here locally, and what's communicating with the server. I hope I'm right about that. I think I'm right about that. I need to look deeper into that just to make sure I'm not missing any information. But anyways, okay. Okay, Okay, okay. The quick overview is LSP info. All right. What it tells you, which language servers are attached to this specific file. But that's interesting because LSP info gave me a whole lot of information. Oh, active clients. What was the other one? Hold on. So we have this. If I jump to the next thing, enabled configurations. Okay, so I'm supposed to mainly look at active clients. Active clients are Rust Analyzer and Tableau. All right. Another way is to look at lazy extras. Oh God, dude. Uh, Install, update, sync. This is not what I'm. How do I look at these without um wait. Okay, updates. Oh, it's showing the okay, loaded. This is what I'm looking for. Though I feel like the thing is, this will show me all of this. This will show me all of the stuff here, but I think even the stuff up is meant to be shown. It's just that it's being shown, up, and that's why it's not being shown here. I think so. Okay, maybe not this one. Tokyo Night is not enabled. This is enabled, I believe. I think so. Snacks. Smear is definitely enabled. That's why this is working. Otherwise, this wouldn't be working. Um, Rosé Pine. Also, we wouldn't be seeing Rosé Pine colors if it wasn't enabled. Render Markdown. We don't have any Markdown running right now, so I can't say that it's enabled. I don't, words, holy shit. I don't even remember what this is for. Plenary. But yeah, okay. Anyways, um, going back to TOML. Okay, we can say, I don't know, sum O1 equals, can I give, can I do this? Would that work? Okay, what if I did that? Now it's an error. Okay. Oh, so there's actually an LSP client here. I don't know why that's surprising for me, but yeah, there's actually an LSP client here. It's also interesting that it changed the order for some reason. Oh, it changed the order when there was an error, just to show me the error. All right, basic data types. TOML supports standard data types out of the box, and they look very similar to what you'd expect in Rust. String must be wrapped in double quotes, integer slash float, standard numbers. You can even use underscores for readability, just like in Rust. Awesome, great. Booleans, okay, always lowercase. Date slash time. So there's probably going to be a specific format for that. And the format seems to be year, month, day. Okay. So it's let's say date 01 equals 2026. Let's do today's date. 05/31. So what happens if I uh, if I do this, yep, there's an error. Is there, do code suggestions give anything for this? Okay, great. So that's done. Then we have arrays. Arrays are surrounded by square brackets. They can span multiple lines, and a trailing comma is perfectly fine. All right, great. We've looked into integers already. Yeah, okay. All right. Then tables. The Oh, okay. Wait. So let's do this. Array equals 1, 2, 3. Okay, array O2 equals sum O1. Actually, let's do num O1, num O2. Yeah, sorry, zoned out. Okay, then tables. This is where it gets interesting. We have tables and then inline tables as well. Arrays of tables. Oh, these are arrays of tables. Wait, that's it? That's the entire language? That's amazing, dude. No, that's legit. That is amazing. Yeah, so um I haven't touched tables yet. I'm going to. I haven't touched inline tables either. Definitely haven't touched arrays of tables. I'm going to, but the thing is, I do unfortunately need to end the stream. Um, yeah, yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna learn this off stream. Maybe I'll make just for the sake of, just like a practice thing that yeah, I'm practicing TOML stuff. I could do it for like okay, practicing serde TOML stuff. I mean, I don't need to do that. I could. It would definitely be helpful. Should I push a repo of this to GitHub? Should I even make a repo of the great thing about Rust projects is that uh, you have a repo created already for you. Like if we look here, I believe it was Alt H. There's H and I as well. I forgot what I was for. Oh, I was for files that are in the git ignore file because this thing, what do you call it? No, files. Sorry, Control I is for files that are ignored, but I don't remember based on what they're being ignored. If Snacks has its own, or the Snacks Explorer has its own ignore list, or if it's reading git ignore. Do I have anything in git ignore? I have this. Okay, all right. Um, oh yeah, there it is. Target. So it's going to show you the ignored files and directories, and Alt H. So Alt I is to show you the ignored stuff. Alt H is to show you the hidden stuff. Hidden stuff would be the Git directory. So what I was trying to say is that yeah, these projects, they get initialized as repos by default. So our repo is ready. I mean, I'm not going to be pushing this project, but whatever project I make for the sake of practicing CRD or for practicing TOML specifically, I kind of want to make something to practice TOML specifically. Yeah, whatever project I make, it'll have the repo. But yeah, that being said, I'm gonna be ending the stream here. I'll stream again tomorrow. Let's see if I'm able to do one of the, louder talking streams, or if it's again one of the quieter streams. I'll try to make it longer. Even if it is one of the quieter streams, I'll try to make it a little longer. Today is decent, I guess, because I was able to stream for at least an hour, so that's good. But if it does end up being another, quiet stream, then I'm probably gonna do. I'm probably gonna try and do it a little longer. But yeah, dude, that's gonna be it for today's stream. I hope